It's time for you to help pick the EA Sports FC Team of the Year. We're voting now open at ea.com/TOTY. Today, as you can see, we are focusing on the men's team with the help of James Allcott and Nieve in the building. Now, you've both got your own ideas in mind, but there are some rules we're going to put in place today. You can only pick one player per club. However, I will allow you a wild card each where you can double up. So potentially we will see 2 Barcelona players or 2 PSG players. But overall, we're looking for one player per club. We'll go position by position.
Makes sense.
Starting with the goalkeepers. You're both ready? Let's have a look at the potential goalkeeping options. We've got Gigi Donnarumma, David Raya, Alisson and Thibaut Courtois. Does anybody stand out in that mix?
Yeah, Donnarumma quite easily for me. I think, obviously, with PSG, incredible season for them. Gone to Man City. Some people were wondering if it would fit. I think it was just hot air, really. Clearly the best. Yeah, I think it's an easy one.
Yeah, I think judging on a time period, he's the one.
You're quite fortunate as well, because that means PSG's still in the mix.
Yeah, I think that's crucial.
Manchester City. So Man City becomes null and void. You can't pick any more City players unless you use a wild card. Left backs. Now, interestingly, the defensive options, we've had a little look, haven't we? We're not too happy with the defensive options here, but I think one name potentially does stand out at left back.
The format's great here because obviously it's difficult because I think, of course, it's Nuno Mendes, right?
Tap in,
especially with Nations League as well. You know,
is there a book coming?
But you could have this littered with PSG players, but we're only allowed one PSG player, maybe a cheeky wild card, which I expect we're going to be battling over. Therefore, do you go with Mendes as your one pick?
Yeah, I think you are. It's almost about trying to pick in a team that was full of players who in their position stood out, and I feel like in the world of football, in the left back position, he stood out so far above the rest throughout the time period.
Do you think this is the biggest disparity from first to second in terms of the best player in their role in the world to the second best player in the world? It's up there. It's a contender, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually, and I think that's why maybe you just have to go with Mendes on this one because he is the gap's so far, isn't it? Yeah.
Happy with that? So Nuno Mendes goes in, and that means PSG is off the table unless you use a wild card. Central defensive options are interesting because there's a lot to look at. We've got.
It looks like Reeve.
It does, but it's not. It's Nico Schlotterbeck. We've got Pacho, Marquinhos. We've got Dean Howson, and we've got Gabriel. Anybody from this list stand out you want to talk about?
Yes, for me, Gabriel.
Okay.
I think defensively, but also attacking wise as well, he's massively stood out and just at a level of consistency that has been amazing.
Yeah, you happy with Gabriel going in there?
Yeah, again, obviously I'm concerned about like one player per club. Him and Saliba, there's a different conversation where if you're going, who's the better centre back?
We have to have that conversation though.
No, because I think for me, when it comes to this calendar year and it being 2025, that's a different question, which is a bit more nuanced. And I think in terms of who's had a better 2025, it's clearly Gabriel for me as well.
How much older than Saliba is Gabriel? Is it a couple of years? Because I almost feel like you can just. I think you can just tell. I just think you can tell he's got those extra few years on Saliba sometimes in games.
The attacking output is just miles
scary
off Saliba. Like every time he plays, it feels like he's scoring. It comes straight back from an injury, scoring again. The back end of 2025 as well. Saliba is maybe more elegant, but Gabriel has just been outrageous.
Do you think as well they partner each other so well? Is there the option here to have a wild card and have both Arsenal centre backs? Are you considering that?
No, just because the level of centre backs that we've got across different teams, I don't think we need to use our wild card in that way.
Okay, so Gabriel's a lock though. Nobody else from this pile you fancy? The likes of Nico Schlotterbeck?
No.
Okay, we're sticking with Gabriel, and I think this next pile has some really big names in it. See, Bastoni, Champions League finalist. Virgil van Dijk, Premier League champion. Mickey van der Ven, scorer of maybe one of the best goals in the Champions League this
Europa
year.
League champion.
William Saliba, who you've basically isolated because of that Gabriel pick. And Mark Gahey, FA Cup, Community Shield.
2 stand out for me.
Okay.
Virgil van Dijk, who, again, if you sort of cut in half, obviously first half of the year, superb. Second half has been difficult for the team of Liverpool. And Bastoni, yeah. I think Bastoni is so complete. I don't want to speak too much. I know that's Nieve's player.
I mean, Virgil van Dijk, an amazing first half of the year, Premier League champion. Second half of the year, there have been a couple of question marks raised about Liverpool's performances and some of his performances, but I still feel like he's been one of the best centre-backs in world football now.
Yeah, and I think when you're that instrumental in a team winning a title, it really does need to be highlighted in many different ways. Like, I think he was all sorts of different types of defender that he needed to be for Liverpool. That's why I think it's been one of his personal best seasons he's ever had. You know, he was composed in games where he needed to be. He was physical and aggressive in others, but his passing as well just reached new heights too.
Talk to us about Bastoni then. Champions League
who's that?
finalist. You are obviously very famous for going viral talking about Bastoni, but does he make your team of the year for 2025?
If we can be sneaky and put him in as another option as a defender, I would like to, because I think he stood out consistently as an individual in the team.
I think right back is so light. Llorente is probably the best of the three for Atletico Madrid, who they've not won anything this season. Dumfries' second half of the year, not amazing to me. Yeah, I'd rather do that. I'd rather have Bastoni and Van Dijk
with Koundé, I wouldn't want to use up a Barcelona player.
He's been patchy as well, second half of the year, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'd like to put Bastoni in.
Okay, it's a little bit cheeky, but we're saying defenders. Bastoni, Van Dijk, Gabriel and Nuno Mendes. Are we happy with that? That means we've used PSG, Arsenal, Inter and Liverpool.
I just don't think Van Dijk would ever do that. Is that
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Got more of a chance. I think he would defer, I think, to Van Dijk.
Okay,
but yeah,
so
I think it gives us a chance.
Into the midfielders. Now, again, we're not happy with some of these midfield names, are we? Because the likes of Lamine Yamal have to be included in the midfield section here because, of course, they're listed as right midfielders. So we'll go through this strategically, I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. I feel suffocated, Joe, if I'm honest.
I think this is the hardest area. So we'll start with the first pile. João Neves, Rafinha. This is an example of should he really be in the attackers, but in the forwards, he's not. He's listed as a midfielder.
Okay.
Luis Diaz and Nico Williams. Anybody there that stands out you want to talk about?
Rafinha stands out.
Rafinha stands out. I think Rafinha has been snubbed enough, and I would like to see Rafinha in this team.
Now, I would like to have a different Barcelona midfielder in the team. I would like Pedri to be in the team because I think attackers, and in Rafinha's case, rightly so, do get all the credit. But I think Pedri is just as important, if not more important, to that Barcelona team, or had been.
You could double up with your wildcard and have Rafinha and Pedri, but that would really leave you limited with one midfield space available and some huge names to come.
I just think when you think about the way that Barcelona have played, making them probably joint most entertaining team with PSG, they don't get to function like that without Pedri in the team.
I think Rafinha, like you've seen him have a bit of an injury, which you could put against him, but with him being out of the side, Barcelona haven't looked as good in the second half of the season. The goals and assists have been amazing from him this year. An incredible story with Rafinha as well in terms of how he's got to where he's got to, and the snubs as well. I don't feel great about that, I'll be honest. Pedri's like phenomenal. I get that. Also, what about Vitinha in all of this?
Well, let's go as a placeholder, shall we? Because he's not in this pile. We will come on to discuss Vitinha, I think. Like, we've got Diaz, João Neves and Nico Williams.
You're going to have to make some tough calls.
I think as a placeholder, we're going to place Rafinha there. We're going to come back to the full midfield selection once we've got maybe 4 or 5 names in between. In the next pile, we've got Jude Bellingham, Vitinha, your man Jimbo, Declan Rice, Ryan Gravenberch, Caicedo, and your Pedri shout. There's some huge names in here. I think we might have to go name by name. Does Declan Rice make it onto the board? Arsenal fans are going to be screaming at home.
Do you know when we've spoken about like the competition in other positions being light, like it's all stacked now, and centre midfield is pretty horrible. I think he misses out.
Does he?
Yeah, because I have Vitinha and I have Pedri above him as well if we're going to utilise a wild card.
I think he's more likely to be the next team of the year that he would make.
Okay,
as opposed to the
but
one
Pedri we're going to place potentially down versus Rafinha as a debate to come on to. Vitinha you wanted to talk about.
I just think, when I think of PSG, I actually think of the fullbacks and then I think of Vitinha. I think Vitinha's been sensational, and I get all the attacking players have been brilliant as well. I just think he's an incredible player. A great story again as well. Just runs the game, plays in, picks it up, then plays it, then carries on his runs.
Third in the Ballon d'Or.
Goals, banging in goals against Spurs. We're second together, don't we?
Yeah.
So I just think he's been a phenomenal story of 2025, which I think is worth considering as well. But
third place in the Ballon d'Or, are we really going to leave him off this list?
My sort of argument would only be that that description you've made about him sort of picking up the ball and drawing players in and using that space in behind, keeping it, progressing the ball. I think Pedri does all that, but I think that Vitinha does it in an unbelievable team, settled setup, where he's also got João Neves next to him that really complements him, whereas Pedri's done that all year in a team that was unsettled, had a bit of injuries, are they good enough for that midfield? And he sort of elevated Barcelona to a level that I don't think should be overlooked.
So does he go on there as just a placeholder for now?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to come back to that.
Placeholder, we might have to come back to it. Any other names you want to speak about? Gravenberch, Caicedo, an amazing year.
Yeah, Club World Cup, he was fantastic.
Conference League?
Conference League, yeah, of course,
Don't
as well.
disrespect it.
No, absolutely not. Bellingham is Bellingham. Probably not the same level as last year.
Yeah.
So, and again, in a stacked area, I
Injury
would,
issues as well.
yeah, I would wonder if he'd sneak in there. What do you think?
Caicedo feels like a good one because as well it's sort of
It's another club, actually.
another
as well.
club.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
And he did
So-
a very good year.
Caicedo, I needed a
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not the
we
way you want to
could-
do it, is it? But
Yeah.
Do you want to
might
talk
have
about
to.
It might have to because of the club selections and they are only allowed one player per
Rotation
club.
options.
Cole Palmer, not been his strongest year, had a lot of injury problems.
Obviously, big in the Conference League final, big in the Club World Cup
Yeah.
final as well. But aside from that, I think overall actually it was quite a patchy year for him.
Bruno G,
Very good, but I think the competition is
Too strong.
2 stacked. Scotty Mack, Syria MVP, decisive factor in Scotland going to a World Cup.
Absolutely.
He's
And do you
got to
know,
be a
I think-
contender here, surely.
he's actually when you watch Napoli, he is getting better and better his overall game. It might not necessarily be like towards the end of that season. In that last 7 games, he had 8 goals and assists.
Yeah.
4 of which, if they didn't happen, Napoli don't pick up those points and they don't win the league. So he was clutch in that element, but now he's sort of honing his craft as an all-round midfielder. He's been unreal.
Greatest glow up ever, isn't it? If you think
Absolutely.
he scored 2 bicycle kicks, reason enough to be in this team. But those 2 bicycle kicks were one to win the league and the other one to take Scotland to a World Cup, which they've not done since 1998. So
Contender.
the
Strong
storyline
contender.
of McTominay
Surely
and
a strong contender.
the hair is just phenomenal.
And it
now.
also means if you had a Napoli player in there, it's another team off the board, isn't it?
Very true.
Yeah.
Michael Olise included as a midfielder here, Lamine Yamal as a midfielder, and Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Any suggestions here? Do you
Elise's
wanna
got
talk
more
about Olise?
goal involvements than Yamal this year. I understand how amazing Yamal is. And again, if you're thinking about what's the year, what sort of defined the year, who have we been talking about and thinking about the most? Yamal on the Champions League run's been pretty sensational. But Elise's been a joke this year as well.
Yeah, I almost feel like pretty sensational for Yamal was underselling it. That back half of last season was just
Everyone was
frightening. People were talking about him being the best player in the world for a considerable amount of time this calendar year, I would suggest.
Is there any way you want him ahead of these two?
Pedri versus Rafinha versus Yamal, you can only pick one.
I'm going to go for Pedri.
Are you happy with that?
Mine would be Rafinha.
Oh, that leaves it with me. I pick Yamal. Okay, so we could use a wild card and go for 2 of them, but is Caicedo staying on the table? Does he need to be removed?
Doesn't feel right,
Doesn't
does
feel
it?
right.
I mean, we might have to though because we can't
Yeah.
have 2
So-
wild cards.
You
want
can.
to
You've
sit
got
over
one
here?
card each.
Oh, is it each?
Yeah, 1 wild card each.
Oh, right, yeah. No, fair play.
So Caicedo's out.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Scott McTominay a lock?
I would
I would
really
like
love to see him in
That to
there.
be the case.
Okay,
yeah.
Scott McTominay is a lock. We love it. McSauce is in. Vitinha, if you choose to pick Vitinha, because you've got Nuno Mendes in there, that means you can't pick Ousmane Dembele as a front 3, the Ballon d'Or winner for 2025.
Do we need to talk about the attackers and then make that final decision?
And then come back to the Barcelona
Okay.
conundrum. Okay, let's go to the attackers then. In pile number 1, we've got Vinny Jr., Kvaratskhelia, Kylian, and Bradley Barcola. Should we touch upon Kylian Mbappe to start with? Because his numbers are actually at the point where they are underrated.
Yeah.
People aren't talking about Mbappe's production enough at Madrid right now.
Don't get me wrong, like every time he gets the ball, it's scary and his numbers have been incredible.
Ridiculous, yeah.
But why do you think it is? Is it because maybe it's like not his totally natural position and therefore...
I think there's been a bit of flux at Real Madrid as well. Losing Carlo Ancelotti, the arrival of Xabi Alonso, that not quite going as smoothly as some people had hoped, that maybe there's been question marks about Madrid as a whole and that project, and that's probably, taken a little bit of shine off of Mbappe, when in reality Mbappe has dragged them through games at times. Some of
he
his
definitely has.
goal-scoring numbers in the league are frightening.
But I just wonder if maybe because he's playing striker and because they've not ever really... He just wants to come and collect the ball a lot of the time. And nobody else really wants to then make that run into the box as much. And there are lots of bigger games of Real Madrid where you notice there's a distinct amount of space just there with no Real Madrid player. And so maybe he's just not at the forefront of your mind.
Do you think, though, that you look at his numbers are basically on a comparable scale to Haaland, who's in an incredibly functional City team, and Kane, who's in a Bayern Munich team that are purring? Madrid look a bit clunky, and he's still putting up
And I think his numbers are better, are they not?
those goals.
and I'm scared to say the actual number that he scored this season, because by the time he goes out, there's maybe a game when he scored another 5. I think the thing where people sort of turn their nose up at him a little bit might be in terms of like those Arsenal games, the Club World Cup games where they've gone out, the El Clasico games as well. He's maybe missed some chances, or he's also at the kind of the front of the arrow. And for a team that there's been a few question marks over their like work rate as a team, he at the front of it as someone who doesn't maybe press as intense as other players do, that's kind of been chucked at him a little bit, but you cannot get away from his numbers.
No,
so
you can't.
Is he going down as a contender for the front three at least?
Yes, definitely.
He's definitely going to go down as a contender, because we
don't have a Real Madrid players. Yeah.
In there. Kvaratskhelia, Nieve, I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, definitely, because, I mean, first of all, 4 trophies, because you've got his treble at PSG, and you've also got his Serie A as well.
Him that?
Yeah. Look, he's been given that. He's got that.
Yeah.
Are you giving him that?
I'm giving it. The world
just
gives it to him. He deserves it. And he really does deserve it. And I do think when you sort of think about how close PSG have come in the years to winning the Champions League, I genuinely do believe that he tipped the scale more than people realise. And I don't just think it's necessarily his attacking output and what he offered in that sense. His pressing is just obscene, but also the way he helps Nuno Mendes, especially in some of those more difficult games where maybe he needs a bit of help to deal with a tricky winger. Watching him in the stadium in the Champions League final, I was just waiting and waiting for him to get a goal, because his performance all game, tracking back, not many wingers do that to the level that he does it and still get themselves up there and end up scoring in the game as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the sort of, I guess, the attacking metal that PSG were missing, he provided massively.
So would you have him over Nuno Mendes or Vitinha? Because you can't have all 3, and we've still got to discuss Ousmane Dembele. Does he rank in the top 3 PSG players of the year? For
me personally, he was one of my favourites, but I also could be a little bit biased because I support Napoli. So maybe I'm willing to concede that. Would you think I'm being silly, James?
You make a really, really good point, actually. I'm just a bit obsessed with Vitinha, but I think
let's put him down as a contender then. For now.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a casualty when it comes to
no Vinny Jr. or Barcola though, right?
No.
Okay, let's go to the next pile then, where surely Harry Kane goes in.
Yes.
Right, Harry Kane is a lock. We don't really need to discuss the numbers and the production he's produced at Bayern Munich, the trophies he's won. Martinez, Victor Gyökeres, Julian Alvarez, Seru Girassi, or JP Mateta. Any names jump out to you there?
Alvarez and Girassi had great seasons, but we've got such contenders, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got huge names to come, so let's ignore those for now and talk about Erling Haaland, Ballon d'Or winning Ousmane Dembele, Messi, Desiree Doué, and Brian Mbeumo.
Happy?
Come on, Brian! Finally, we found one.
Okay.
You say Brian's the lock?
I'm just about no.
Okay. Erling Haaland.
So Haaland would be a wild card.
He would, because of Donnarumma.
How do we feel about Dembele? It's funny, isn't it? He's the Ballon d'Or winner. I don't know if it's me trying to be like hipster, I've got a different opinion, and sort of not going for Dembele because it's too obvious. But he did win the Ballon d'Or.
The numbers are absolutely ridiculous in that PSG team. I think as well his all-round game went to new heights playing through the middle. That change of position under Luis Enrique clearly, totally has transformed his game. His off-the-ball work rate, you're talking about Kvaratskhelia as well, has gone to new levels. Finally, we're seeing a Dembele that was promised to us when he was at Rennes.
Oh, it's hard. It's just the PSG conversation here for me.
It is.
I think Donnarumma is so clear. I think because Haaland's alongside Kane and Mbappe, I think to have 3 of them feels...
There's no actual alternative anyway with goalkeeper when you think of the clubs that the other goalkeepers play for. Right?
There's really not.
So I think Haaland misses out because of that, personally. You all right with that?
Right.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, potentially. So that means Ousmane Dembele...
Messi, no.
Messi, no. Desiree Doué versus Dembele versus Kvaratskhelia.
Let's just put Brian down, shall we?
Well, we might have to come back to that, honestly, when we start seeing the rules in a minute. Doué and Messi, no?
No.
Desiree Doué,
I mean,
obviously.
shout out to him in the Champions League final performance, but overall, no.
Okay, so Kane
there.
and Mbappe are locked in, potentially, because these are a head-to-head PSG battle, right? So Dembele versus Kvara versus Vitinha.
Oh yeah, we've still got this decision as well.
Yeah. Because you want to keep Nuno Mendes. You could have Cucurella at left back and that would free up another spot.
So what are we fighting for? What's the situation?
So the situation here is you can only have 2 PSG players if you use your wild card, which you're going to. And you can pick between Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Vitinha or Nuno Mendes. You could potentially have Cucurella come into that left-back slot.
I think if I had it my way,
Yeah.
I think I would go for a midfield that has Pedri and an attack that has probably do have to go with Dembele.
Okay, so we're saying Dembele has to go down. You can't have
It's mental,
you can't
isn't it?
have
Yeah,
the Ballon d'Or winner and
yeah,
not in this 2025
okay.
team. Right, so if he goes in there, that means you've got 3 PSG players which can't run. So the option here is that Pedri goes into that position over Vitinha and plays alongside Rafinha. You're basically now selecting Vitinha or Rafinha, Jimbo.
He cannot be snubbed once more.
Yeah, so that would
Rafinha
mean
has to go in.
you want Pedri, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
So
And I think that's nice because those two really, they both played pretty much every game as well.
Yeah,
They did.
Enough. It has to be. Rafinha has to go in for me. That's really important.
It's very convoluted as well. This is really, really tough.
It's really hard.
We've even had to put Bastoni at right back. We're fully aware he's not a right back, but we wanted him in there as part of the defensive unit. So that leaves us with Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes, Gabriel, Van Dijk, Bastoni, Rafinha and Pedri. There's wildcard number 1. McTominay, Mbappe, Kane and Dembele, with Nuno Mendes being wildcard number 2. Are you happy to lock that team in?
Yeah.
I think that's best we're going to be able to agree on.
Okay, so there we have it. Let us know what you think of the guys' selection in the comments below. And of course, you can go and vote for your team of the year right now on ea.com/TOTY.